Hi, I'm going to show you a little bit what you can do with Wavefolder if you apply it on envelopes. So I'll just start by taking everything away that I have going on here, so you can easier see what's going on. So what I have is just a simple sequence. The signal chain is out from the Instrou Tona, just a triangle wave that goes through a Doepfer VCA and out, and that is being affected by this envelope from the Sadar. That's a green line, that's the envelope coming in, and the yellow is the envelope going out. So yeah, this is signal coming in. So what you can do, you could fold down the top of the wave from the positive side. So this is the positive side of the folder and this is the negative side. So now it's folding down a lot, but then you can decrease the modulation. So you can decrease it so it just limits the top of the wave if you want to. And of course you can move that plateau up and down any way you want to, or just have it slightly compressed kind of. So if you can do that from the negative side, from the positive side, sorry. But you can also do it from the negative side. But since this is also made for audio, it works on not just unipolar signal, it's positive and negative. So the threshold for the negative folding, that is now set to way below at about minus 8 volts. So I have to move this up, and all the way here nothing is happening. That is because the threshold that is looking on the green wave, it's still down here somewhere, it's still at 0. But if I move it over to the positive side, you see, you're getting you're kind of raising the floor of the envelope, the yellow one, all the way up until it's on all the time. And if I increase the modulation, you can see this, that when the green slope is coming down at a certain point, it starts going up again, because I folded it up with, this doesn't affect anything, with that one. So knowing that you can move parts of the wave up and down, you could also do that with these ones. They are adding and subtracting a square wave. You can also see when this is active, it goes green, this FON, which means folder negative, is active. So when that is active, you could actually move that part of the wave up or down, which means, well, it affects the wave really drastically. So I'm not going to do that in this. Okay, back to normal. So when you have let's see, you could also connect a LFO in here if you want to. So if I set this threshold down a bit and I increase the attenuator, and this is now, this sine wave that I'm putting in here is completely unsynced. So I can make the envelope go way off and on if I want to. Or I could sync it with the clock divider, like this. So sometimes it's not affecting the wave at all, and sometimes it is. You see? Some peaks are there and some are not, depending on what my clock divider is doing. Okay, that's for static signals, more or less static or low frequency ones. So now I have the wave folded down, the envelope folded down a bit. So what happens if I connect an audio rate signal on the positive CV? Well, that gets overlaid on that plateau that I just created. So in this way I can have, if I move this up a bit, I can get the attack of the wave to be just slightly affected by something. So if I want it just to be a short thing in the beginning, I set the threshold pretty high. Get it to do this. If I set the modulation to very low, this is just in the beginning of the wave now, and I lower the threshold, it will keep affecting the wave for a longer period. And since you know, I showed you that you could do the same on the negative side. So I move this up. Maybe I should show what this is. It's that. And on the negative side I'm connecting this. And I move this up so it starts. Which means that I can get another another modulation in the valleys of in between the peaks of the envelope. And a cool thing you can do then is if I take white noise, sounds like this. Yep. and I connect that to a negative side. Then I have something that is almost like, well, vinyl crackle, or when the signal goes away. If I take away. So what I'm trying to show here is that you can shape the envelope differently from the two sides, from the positive side and the negative side. And if you could also go symmetrical, then it's adding what's happening on the negative side and the positive side. And a time when this adding of the signals could be interesting is if I connect LFO. So I connect a sine wave. You can't hear this, but it looks like this. I'll take a sine wave instead of the triangle, the blue line. I connect that to the negative side. And the way it's set up now, it's coming up from beneath. So if I switch the symmetrical switch on, then this audio rate signal and the LFO are being added together. This doesn't do anything anymore. It's disconnected. So the positive offset is controlling everything. Well, the threshold. So now I can set how much. Now I'm switching off or turning off the audio rate signal, and I just have the LFO. I'll make it a little bit slower, like this. So the LFO is coming in and cutting into the LFO, cutting into the envelope off and on. So if I turn up the audio rate signal, so the audio rate signal rides the LFO. So if you want to have this in some kind of context, say I put a kick drum on here or some rhythmic stuff. And this rhythmic stuff is just done by the clock divider. There's nothing else. No sequencer or anything. So let's see what else can we do. Oh yeah. You can also control the distortion on and off at up to high audio rate. So if I do that, I have going on now is, oh, this is so low frequency so you can't hear it, but if I turn it up, I'll take that and connect it to distortion. Or turn it down really low. So you could also say that I disconnect the modulation. I just have the distortion modulation going on. Then I could also, if I would connect a filter in here, so I have a filter set up here, but I want that to be triggered by the envelopes in some way. Then I could say that I take this, I'll turn this off, and I set the threshold so you can see on this LED that the positive folder is getting active, but you can't hear anything because I turned the modulation off. If I would turn that off, it would start doing something, but for the demonstration I'm turning it off completely. And then I'll take this signal, I'll route it out to the red line. I don't know if you can see here, but you're getting a pulse during the time the folder is active. So I can make that pulse different lengths depending on where I set the threshold level. Okay, so that's kind of normal. You can do this by just triggering the filter with the same gate signal. So here's where it becomes more interesting. As this is an attenuator, you can move it the other way, which means that when this signal goes high, it triggers the filter, and depending on where I set the trigger point, I can get a delay of where the filter is triggering. So this is a way of, I'm just showing this so you get ideas of how to connect other things in logical ways. Because you can also set this one, the negative one, if you move that over to the positive side. Let's see, I have another cable. Let's see if I can do this. I have another cable, and see, you have another signal going on here, and that can control something else. So if I let's see, you can get them completely out of phase. You can turn them so you have effectively two decision points, the red and the blue line, that you can derive from the green line, that is the incoming envelope. Okay, I hope this has been helpful in some way. If I take this away again. And go back to something very normal. So this is what I started with. Okay, I hope it gives you some ideas of what you can do. So, thanks.